it was kind of weird being asked to speak in front of like all you guys for this, because it wasn't really in my field to be the speaker and talk to people and try to change their mind or try to, you know, lead them on a better path. That was just never what I thought I was going to be doing today. But I appreciate you guys for sitting here and listening to me go over this.
I just remember him as Chaz. And I remember the first thing I thought was, hey, that's a cool name. I remember thinking that, you know, love that. And he was, and again, not embarrassing, but he was like this little guy. And so when I'm standing out in the hallway, I'm like, man, these freshmen get smaller and smaller, and they're crazier and hyper. And yeah, there he was. That's exactly like a little raptor running around the building. But Chaz was energetic, funny. Like to kind of get the attention that maybe some teachers didn't like, but I thought he was great. I like.
This is shocking to me.
Yeah,
She thinks I'm great.
You know, feisty people with personality, and you know, just someone that I connected with, and. As I've said in the past, sometimes those are the students I connect with the most. Like, not the most, but I will connect with. Like maybe other teachers are like, ugh. And I honestly, I don't really remember any particular teacher saying, ugh, Chaz is in class.
You didn't talk to him.
But that happens. Like, oh, I can't stand this kid or that kid, and that bothers me when I hear that kind of stuff. And then I'm always thinking, well, that's a kid I connect with, or that's a kid I get along with. Sometimes students like Chaz in the past might think, man, I'm just this goofball in class, teachers don't like me, I'm not going to get anywhere. Or how am I going to make it in this world? Or I didn't do very well in school, I'm not book smart, you know, what am I going to do? But there were some qualities I always saw, and that was his charismatic personality and that energy. And I thought, how are you, this is not going to be someone that just sits down in someone's basement the rest of his life. Something's gonna happen. I didn't know what, and then really, like with most students, once he was gone, I didn't really think much about it again, obviously, and then we saw each other somewhere, maybe at a wedding, you know, some event where we saw each other on Facebook, or he sent a request, a friend request, or something like that. And then I was so excited to see what he did with his life and how he's become successful by definition for him and in our community. And he's actually moved out of the Rock Falls area, but still, you know, he's here all the time for his work. But the thing about it is he moved around a lot, and sometimes that can be a disadvantage for people, and getting to know people and making friends. But it helps if you have some relatives here and there. You make some cool friends with relatives that accept you, and that can be difficult. Like Gavin, you're new here this year. You know that can be a challenge, right? Moving and meeting new people, especially at this age, being an adolescent. And he's had some hardships, especially recently. But he's persevered and has this great business and doing really well for himself. And I think that a lot of times people think, if you're from this area, how are you going to end up? And it's all a matter of how you define success. And I think he's a success story. So I was, you know, happy to ask him to come in and talk to us, because he's just like your average Rock Falls kid, right? Not like a super standout, or like if you could just think of one way someone described you, like say a classmate would have described you, what would have it been?
Just one of the guys.
Yeah, just exactly. And oftentimes as teachers I hear kids say, well, we're just from Rock Falls, or you know, it's just, that doesn't mean anything. Like in terms of your future, you can go on and be and do whatever you want. And I so am inspired or impressed that he found something that he loves to do, and so he's making a living doing that. And isn't that what it's about? Like, yeah, you know that old phrase, do what you love what you do. And I think that you are a living testimony to that. We were just reminiscing about one of his cousins, and they were in the building together, and that was kind of quite a dynamic duo. keep teachers busy and on their toes. So Chaz might have been that student that some teachers would think, I hope he's in the other section. If there was more than one section, I don't know, only just for various reasons. But you know what, he's a little rambunctious, had a lot of verve in him. Still does, by the way. But I think that's what drew me to him as a student. So I was always fond of Chaz and saw potential in him. And he's a very charismatic, good personality, communicator. He'll tell you, try to be silly in class clown, but maybe, and I didn't even say this, he brought it up today, and he will with you too, maybe not the best student, but I just thought, well, this kid's gonna do something someday, I don't know what it is, but he'll do something. I want to introduce to you and give him a nice warm welcome. This is Chaz Slater.
Thanks, love. Dude, I've never had the class up to myself. We should do.
We should lock this.
Yeah.
Lock it.
Barricade. Anyway, I'm Mr. Slater. I'm your substitute teacher for today. Woo. And I just always wanted to say that, and now I got the chance. Woo. This is awesome. All right. Just recently, I was asked to speak at Rock Falls Middle School down the road, and I'm kind of asking myself the same question I was over there. Why me? But I've come to the conclusion that everyone has something to pass on, either to the next generation or to the people that they encounter on a day-to-day. Tips, tricks, knowledge, and hacks. Anything that can get you by. For those of you who don't know me, I've seen a few familiar faces here today. I've worked with a few of you guys before. And then I've also, been in town for the Rock Falls football and stuff like that. But for those of you who don't know me, let me introduce myself. I used to walk these very hallways, sat in the same desks, ate the same lunches, and yes, even stood at this podium a time or two. We'll get to that here in a bit. See, I'm Chaz Michael Lee Slater. I'm, bless you. You all right? I'm the teacher. I got some tissues. You need some tissues? All right, get some tissues. There's some stuff going around, man. All right. But I'm Chaz Michael Lee Slater. I'm a family man. I'm a homeowner, along with the creator of Slater Photography, a traveling photography / videography company that travels all over the country, capturing people's special memories. And I've even been outside of the country, capturing just special memories, weddings, events, and stuff like that, family stuff. And in that short amount of time, it's grown to something chosen by thousands of people, all over. Meeting and planning with great clients from all walks of life. Always meeting in person. See, most of that wouldn't even be possible if it wasn't for the things that I've learned in this very school. See, I was a former student here at Rock Falls High School, and I'm back today thanks to the wonderful Mrs. Shaker. Please, y'all, give her a hand real quick. Come on, y'all, you got the next slide. You got me quiet a little bit. There we go. All right, so now, if you mentioned to some of my other previous teachers around the halls, I was walking around and I scared a few of them, like that they would probably run or lock their doors, and that's no exaggeration. But I'm back, and see, I'm just kidding. I really wasn't that bad. Like, I had my moments, but so there was this one time. So my buddy, he had a scavenger, like some goofy scavenger hunt that he was like, he had a list of different things. It was like a hair tie, a bag of baby formula. And it was just weird stuff. And I was like, shoot, my sister's right. She's got baby formula. Put it in a bag, take it to him, and we can be successful at this whole scavenger hunt. Yeah, so I get there and I'm standing in the hall, and what else do you do with baby formula? And, and you're just standing there with your friends, you whip it at them. Like, you just sit there and mess around with them, doing the same dumb stuff. Well, a teacher had seen me, and she took me and the bag down to the principal's office. And when I got there, I was greeted with the principal and 2 Rock Falls police officers. They thought it was drugs. Yeah. But good times, good times. It was just, yeah, not a good start on that day. But still made it to my next class though. I still made it to my next class, but the bag never made it to my friend. It's just, back in the day, I wasn't really what you would consider a model student. As she said, you know, kind of gave you a little taste of it. I wasn't really too book smart though either. I wasn't in the most popular groups or cliques on a regular day basis, and to be honest with you, I pretty much got along with everybody. I was never. I had my times when I was a bully, when I got bullied, but I never. It was all in good fun, and I basically just got along with everybody throughout the time. But it was really hard for me to connect when it came to schoolwork and at times just life in general. See, not knowing I was missing out on important life lessons, so I would do other things to feel like I was connecting with the surrounding times. I would be the class clown, the one who was loud and obnoxious. Some days I would shut everyone out like I was putting on a mask or sunglasses hiding from the world. Or the opposite, talk your ear off all day and be crazy and do all that stuff. I have what I thought was a great time in that point in time. But not really realizing I was actually the same as everybody else. I have to be honest with you though, many teachers tried their best to get through to me, connect with me on some kind of level, and get me to understand these key lessons. But don't get me wrong, many failed. Like a lot, almost every single one of them. There was one that stood out greatly, and that was your teacher behind you. See, she taught me a lot. She taught me that using the knowledge in your head or what you've learned in your past and putting that into words can really answer just about any question before you. See, I told you that I stood at this podium before. And, well, speech class was a way to figure out how to face-to-face communicate with people, a room full of different backgrounds, races, religions, problems, and talking to other human beings using not a phone, not a keyboard, not Facebook, or at the time it was MySpace, but it was just connecting with everybody, not using them kind of things. Later on, that greatly helped create the man you see today. See, well, let me tell you a little bit about that last time that I was at this podium. It was that final speech. Well, at least it was for me. Like, it was the one where they called it the big speech. The one where you had to pick an object and write a minimum of 3 minutes for it. And, well, yeah, I come to class. Remember how I said that I didn't really pay attention? Yeah. So I forgot about the big speech. And so I come in and I walk up to a friend that I see, and it was a rough weekend. And I walk up and I'm like, hey man, bro, that party last night was so sick. Where were you at? Like, what was going on? Instantly, he says, bro, I couldn't get out last night. I had this big speech to work on. What speech? And he said, the big speech, what's your object? What are you going to do your speech on? Instantly, I stood there like a deer in the headlights. News to me. And was like, oh shit, that's today. Ran off, trying to find my object, and here's the locker. Okay, gotta find my object. Well, it's that time where I gotta go make that speech. Now, I wasn't prepared like at all. So I walk up to the door, and there it is. I see a box. A box. Which I heard someone else is going to be making a speech on a box in this room. Yeah? Okay, well, you got some stuff to top, okay? But check this out. So I see the box, and boom, there's my object. Now I got to figure out how to connect with the whole class. All my peers, all my classmates, my boys, my friends and all that. It was just, how am I going to do it? Well, so time to wing it. And yeah, I sit down and I keep watching classmate after classmate get up there and kill it. Anybody else know that feeling? Like when you're sitting there and you just see like someone else, you're like, yep, they brought their index cards. I didn't bring index cards. Well, that was happening, you know, and as I'm sitting there freaking out, I hear my name. It's my turn. Well, lo and behold, my friends, we all know something about a box when you have to get up in front of 20 and 30 people, you know, like, and you gotta make a speech. Like, see, I get up there. Ooh, it's the flashbacks. Get up there. My hands are sweating, like they are now. And, yep, everybody's looking at me, like they are now. Just breathe, Chaz, you got this. And that's exactly what I said to myself in my head. You got this. You got this. Just get up there and do it. Oh, what are you gonna do? All right. Yeah. No, you can't. So you make it happen. Guess what? I made a 20-minute speech up there about every possible thing you could do with a box. Yeah, I talked about every possible thing you could think a box could do. Please make me proud and find some more things you could do with a box. And it was to the point where I had to be stopped. Like, they were like, she was like, all right, so that's all we got for today. That was great. And she asked me where the index cards were. I said, I got them all up here, boo. Yeah. See, I passed. Does anybody in the room probably know, or maybe have an idea or a suggestion on why I passed? I was not prepared. I didn't get the A+. I didn't get that, you know, that grade that you write home about, or you, oh, honey, that and hanging up on the refrigerator. No. Yeah, no, but I passed. Why do you think that was? Why, yeah. I love this part. Remember, I'm the teacher. I can call him. Tried. Oh, that's a big one.
You had good communication skills.
Ooh, girl! She listened to her at the beginning of her class. There you go. But yeah, that was it. It was because I found a way, not using a phone, Google, a keyboard, you know, I found a way to walk up, connect, you know, and figure out a way to put it into words face to face. See, Ms. Schaefer, along with many other teachers, come here day in and day out trying to teach everyone who sits in the desks and trying to teach them one vital thing that's going to help you all in the real world. And that's person-to-person communication. You know, I deal with it every day. Every day. Did you know that 75% of today's society, like this is recent polls, trust me, because again, I wasn't prepared, I had to look this stuff up just recently. The recent polls, 75% of today's society, ages 14 all the way through 50, mainly use communication through text or messaging apps. That's a lot of no face-to-face, you know what I mean? Because it's easier. It's just easier. But it's sad yet real today that we must have our social media outlets flawlessly filled with the latest gossip. Cardi B song, it was dope, by the way. But face edited profile photos. I'm a photographer, I can tell that stuff, okay? Like, just so you know, I know it's fake. You know? I know when that filter moves, it's like, ah! You know? Like, okay, I know. But, you know, you got a lot of stuff on there. Political fighting, bashing, bullying, and tons more. It's hard to navigate through life with all the added pressure on top of high school. We keep straying further away from face-to-face contact. And I can tell you when I first noticed less face-to-face communication. Shoot, it was my first breakup. It happened right outside that door. Yeah, so walking in the box of good memory, and then I turned around and looked at that locker. I'm like, all right. Yeah. And, you know, when I said it was the first time I kind of realized that, looking back on it, it was less and less, face-to-face contact. She hit me with the note, y'all. She hit me again. I know. Right? I was like, shoot, couldn't have texted you. No. Yeah, she walked up with her friends. Didn't even really like when I got her in, I was like, you didn't even look at me that. I was like, all right. I grabbed the note. Yeah, she's crazy, isn't she? Oh shit. What? What? Because I swore I wasn't gonna cry today. But yeah. No, I'm just playing. But yeah. See, I was crushed. But that was like one of the first moments that I realized, like, it's much easier. It's much easier if I write you over the phone or write you over Facebook or Messenger or give you a note. It's much easier. But don't get me wrong, not all social media is bad. I myself, almost every social media outlet that you can think of, I use. Just, I run a business, I do all that kind of stuff. And it's very crucial to today's standards and building a business and even navigating through life in general. You got to see family members and stuff like that. You can see friends, new photos and stuff. It's great. But I've got to say, some of the biggest deals, at least in my career and life in general, has been through face-to-face just communication. One time I was an extra on a TV show called Chicago Fire. Anybody know Chicago Fire on TV? Yeah? A couple people? Alright, so I got to be an extra on there. And so now as I'm on the set, we all get called to the buses. And the director walks in and there's tons of people on these buses. There's like 4 buses, lots of people. He walks up to the first bus, and he walks up to this bus, and then I'm the 3rd bus. He walks in, and there's tons of people on my bus, and he said, I need somebody to play a drunken frat boy. So, just to be real with y'all, I know nothing. I might, look all pretty boy today. I would have rather been wearing pajamas. I know nothing about fraternities. All I knew is that sometimes they speak and their titles are in like that Greek language, like Delta, Kappa, right? Like, yeah. So like, all that I can think of is like, okay, Delta, Kappa. So I just instantly just stand up. I say, Delta Kappa, what's up? Let's do this. I don't know what I'm talking about. But he picked me, and to my surprise, he picks me and a couple other guys, and we get taken out there, and we're right next to these, huge actors. It's been in tons of movies, and you're just like almost starstruck, and you're trying to listen to all this stuff. It's a lot to take in. It was truly an awesome experience. Well, that ended up being a season finale in this Chicago Fire thing. Don't get me wrong. Dude, I've never seen Chicago Fire. Never. That's the only episode that I've seen was the one that I'm in. I'm like sitting there like, oh my, that's me. So like, but it's season finale. It's gonna be all over. Millions of people, I guess, seen it. I haven't really met too many of them. No one's walked up to me asking me for my autograph or anything. But like, it was an awesome experience. All because why? Face-to-face contact kind of thing. It was just, you spark just some kind of light in somebody, and so much stuff can. There was another time I was covering a wedding not too far from here, and there was a family sitting there at the table, and they were talking about how the daughter was getting married. And so me being a photographer, I'm like, okay. I kind of listened in a little bit, and she's like, well, we still need this kind of thing. We need like a DJ, a photographer, and this. I'm like, oh, okay, let me slide up in here real quick. So I just, introduced myself politely and was like, hey, I didn't mean to impose, but I overheard that you needed a photographer. If you want, I would love to go over a few things. I'm kind of working right now, but maybe we can set a date. 5 months later, I'm staying in a skyscraper hotel in Chicago, covering a wedding, and we're going out on a yacht overlooking the Chicago skyline. All because what? Because I just, I communicated with somebody, just person to person. That's all it takes. One little thing. You might overhear somebody, It's sometimes rude to enter someone's conversation, but, you gotta just take that step. And I could have went on Facebook, looked it up, maybe wrote them a message, They were at this wedding, so they must be friends with the bride or groom. But no, let me just try it, Just try to chat. Just that little thing made a huge difference. And I truly have a dream job because I get up every day doing something that I love. To me, that's hard to even consider a job because at the same time, I'm capturing memories for people that'll live generations to come. I actually, and I didn't write this down, this part, but it's something kind of hit me when I said that. So I just recently lost my father, and when I lost my father, I was going through the things. You have to go through the stage where once you lose someone, it's up to you now. You know, all that they dealt with, the house and everything, that's all up to you to kind of go through. And being a photographer, I wanted photos. And so it made me stop and think, every day that I go to work and I do my thing, like I just did the Rock Falls Mom and Me photos for the Rock Falls football team and stuff like that. Like, your parents aren't going to be there forever. And I give people them memories that'll last forever. You know, so if you have photos on your phone, this is just a real quick thing, print them all. You know, because there's someone that you inspire down the road that's going to hit you up, like a teacher or something like that. You know, that it's memories to look back on. So that was just kind of going off my little speech here, but one of them things. While at the same time giving me the opportunity to see the world in the most magical way. It's amazing. But all of you in this room have some kind of passion, some kind of interest, some kind of, oh, this is, I like doing this. And whether it be public or whether it be like laying dormant, just waiting to be just explored. If you have any ideas on what you want to be, let's hear it. So I'm going to pick on a few people. We're going to see what you guys want to be when you grow up. What about you?
Police officer.
Police officer? Actually, the last person in the last class said that. And I have a couple buddies who are in the police force and they love it. It's an amazing career to get into. But be courteous to everybody. I was a troublemaker, you know what I mean? Like, I was a troublemaker, so it's just one of them things. And so, yeah, like, be nice to everybody, okay? Promise me that? Because you might see me, All right. What about you?
A nurse.
A nurse. That's awesome. I actually just did photos for a graduation out at SAW. And that is an amazing field to get into. You literally can save a life. That's awesome. You got a lot of communication, patient to nurse, a lot of communication that you're gonna definitely want to carry on. Same with you, kind of like I said, be nice, that person-to-person contact is everything. Let's go. What is that? What are you wearing? That's awesome. That's awesome. So what's up?
I want to be a mathematician.
Ooh. Are you really good at math? Are you just,
I like to think so.
yeah? Are you screwing with it? No. Yeah? You good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh! Don't make me get the calculator out and do that Matilda thing where she's like, what is it? And she goes, that's 243 for a 7 kill.
I can't do that.
No. But being an accountant, I have an accountant. He does great, and he takes a lot of my money. It's a good field to get into then. That's awesome. But yeah, what about you, boss?
I don't know.
Yeah, okay, what do you like to do? When you get out of here, what do you prefer? You can tell me anything.
I go home. I use the bathroom.
Okay.
Sleep
Plumber.
for
I'm not
about,
thinking
for about an hour. maybe.
professional sleeper.
And I get up, I eat a bowl of cereal, and I sit on Xbox. I do my homework at like 7:30, and I go back to sleep. Then I wake up around 11:30 and watch YouTube till like 1.
Dang, okay,
I fall
dude.
asleep and
Yeah.
I wake up and sleep first hour every day.
Yeah. Which class is it?
EGS.
Yeah, I see. No, I'm just saying. Yeah, I feel you. So, just kind of going off a few things. You like to play games, right? You're kind of a gamer, yeah. So I have a buddy who's really big into games. Really big. Like, we would call him and be like, hey, what's the cheat code for blah, blah, blah? You know what I mean? And be like, oh, yeah, it's blah, 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 blah. It's right click, you know? And you're like, oh, okay. Really awesome. But he was not really a social person. He was not at all a social person. Like, you'd see him get on that game and he would open up, you know, but in school it wasn't, you know, it was just kind of antisocial kind of thing, you know what I mean? Well, this kid ended up making a full career out of just gaming in a way because he got so good at gaming that he ended up joining the military and getting into the computer, that field. And now he's like, he sent me a picture like a few weeks ago, like of him like in this little thing, just computers, and it looks like you're in a game. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm just flying something over like Syria right now. And I'm like, what? What? And he's like, yeah, I'm sitting like in Michigan right now. It's pretty cool, and I'm flying a thing over. I'm like, what? So see, you know, and even though that doesn't technically consider like to be a job that needs a whole lot of person to person, you know what I mean? But you still got to take, you know, commands. You still got to take, or, you know, you still got to, yeah, Delta 57. I got the Delta thing from that Greek thing. Yeah. But yeah, you know, so that's pretty cool though. Just remember that you can do anything. You just got to find that thing that you want to do. You know, don't get me wrong. You're gonna find a few things like you were kind of like, I don't know what I want to do. I was like that forever. I did tons of like odd jobs that I didn't even know what the heck, you know, like just odd jobs, like just straight, like I worked Dairy Queen, I did Applebee's, that kind of thing. I was throwing my little butt, man, I was throwing 100-pound boxes of Tyson of meat. And then I got to the point where I was like, just tired of that. And I was like, no, I don't want to be told what to do. I don't like to, you know, I don't like doing this. I'm not really interested in it. So I found something that I like to do and made a business out of it. Pretty cool. What about you, Doug? Yeah.
I don't know. A flight attendant.
Like travel the world? Yeah, that's actually awesome. Travel the world. Yeah. Okay. That's pretty cool. What's some other ones? Just name them out. Oh, okay. I was gonna be. I looked into being like a forensic photographer, but then noticed you had to go back to school. And I was thinking, well, it didn't go so well the first time I was here, you know. So like, but yeah, that's pretty cool. So I was the regular photographer. But that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. What is that on your head? All right. No. What about you?
Me?
Yeah.
Probably with music.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got a few buddies that are in like bands and stuff, and they travel all over the country. And they went to Germany too. It's pretty cool, you know. And they make really good money. Yeah. I like that. Play an instrument?
I just wanna do like electrical music.
Oh, okay, so like beats, and so
Yeah.
like maybe you could look into like producing,
Yeah.
you know, and doing that kind of thing. There's really good money in that, you know. It's pretty cool. It's like it. I dig it. And you?
Me?
Let's go. What do you think you want to be when you grow up?
Like a designer for like things, basically. I don't know.
Like a designer, like decor, or like
Just
clothes, or
like an engineer.
Oh,
Design,
okay.
Like parts for things.
yeah, that's one of like the leading
Software
things.
design?
Yeah, pretty dope. What about you, love? What about you? What are you thinking?
Who?
You. So, what would you want to be when you grow up?
A tattoo artist.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, why?
Just like you said, you get to make memories. I get to stick it in them.
Yeah, I like that. Ooh, I like that. And you could even put that like as your slogan, like walking in, like photographers.
Stick it.
Yeah, like photographers take photos. Yeah, but I stick it. I dig it. That's cool. When it comes to like tattooing and stuff, you really, that's as personal as you can get. You know what I mean? Like that's as real as you can get to person-to-person contact. Like you're seriously putting pain, but an amazing thing on somebody. You know, that's pretty awesome. If you really, like, do you draw now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Really? Yeah? Okay. So yeah, keep at it. But I'm gonna be real with you. You're gonna go through some things that you're gonna feel like you're never gonna get through. That's never, you know what I mean? Like there's gonna be some mountains to climb. But if you really like pursue it, you got this. Like the guy in Sterling over there that runs I think it's Skin Deep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he's got like the Robert Cooksey.
Oh.
He's got some of the best lines in town. And the reason why people keep going to him is because he's personal. You know, he really gets to know the client. He really gets to know, you know, everybody and that kind of thing beforehand. So yeah, that's really cool. I like that. See, a great comedian once said, "No, you're not immune to the trials and tribulations of life." That always resonated with me. See, life is hard. No doubt about that. You're only human, and history shows it's not easy. But there's ways to make it happen and get through. My main point to all this is don't lose that gift that each and every one of you have. Even with being bombarded with today's society being all about social media, there will be big, big, huge moments in your life that require true face-to-face communication. You can have all the social media skills in the world, but please, just please, take what you know up here and make a life for yourself. Because you can talk to anybody in the world. You just gotta think. That's the best I can do. So, any questions? Go ahead.
Did you not go to college then, or?
No. So me and schoolwork, like I said, didn't really click. No, it just, what had happened is I got tired of working odd jobs around town. I got tired of the whole, McDonald's is not, I don't care what things they're doing. McDonald's and them kind of things are not forever jobs. And if you get into that field and you think that way, that's all you're gonna do. And like, I just got tired of doing the little jobs and that kind of thing. And so I looked back and thought, what am I good at? Like, I'm funny on occasion, And then I thought, well, shoot, I've always had a camera in my hand. And then I started thinking back, oh, well, this person said, oh, this person's really good. Maybe I should, try that. So that's what I did, is I actually kind of shadowed somebody who ran a company before, and from there I just realized, like I could make a lot more money just doing it myself. I did, and that was it. That was, you know, it's you. Each one of you guys are good at something, and you have some kind of passion that's like I said, just deep inside. And, you know, whether you know your passion now, whether it's doing hair and makeup, or wanting to be a cop or something like that, like you know what you want to do. Some of you might think, oh, well, I don't know. Okay, well, if you don't know what you want to do, then find out what you're good at. Because what you're good at normally is your passion. You know, and don't get me wrong, I realized everything when I got out of school. And that's why I'm here today. Is because if I feel like I can come in here and it's like, man, I wish I, no, like, I kind of want to pass that on to you, being like, listen, guys, today's society, you know, it's 75%, 14 through ages 50, are only using the text messages and messaging apps and stuff like that. So that's little to no face-to-face contact. You know, it's just, if you guys can realize that face-to-face contact, person-to-person, you know, right, and how important that is, and when you go out these doors, not only in business. Yeah, I'm a businessman, but I'm also a family man, homeowner, friends, you know, like it comes together with everything.
We just finished this little mini listening unit. I don't know if you even remember that from years ago. Like the bakery, and you gotta do this. So listening. So how much importance does listening come into play? Not just necessarily in your job, but like relationships or once they're older, beyond adolescence.
You know, aside from the job, listening's everything. Like, that's one thing that, honestly, I got some troubles with here and there. You know, it's just, I don't know if it's, I see too many people a day, and my brain can't, like, register, like, what's going on, but listening is a big one. Connecting, like, if you're in a relationship or something, and you're like, oh my God, he was talking to her, but am I gonna say anything? See? Like, all you're doing is holding yourself back from saying your true feelings. Use what you know up here and let it go. I'd also have to say, like, kind of going back into the business, I've had people, when it's someone's wedding day, they want so many photos of, I want a photo with my sister, I want a photo with my brother, my grandma, my uncle, my second cousin, twice removed, he's going to be there, make sure he gets in the photo. I want a photo, you know, and all this, and you have like 100 photos that you got to capture, you know, all while trying to remember the list, trying to, you know, remember your camera settings and everything like that. It gets pretty hectic. Like, what, like, if you're a welder, what do you think your biggest task would be? Like, would it be like the schoolwork or that kind of stuff?
I like going to college for it.
Yeah.
I don't like schooling.
Yeah. Man, I was the exact same way. Like, dude, books, it never
Gotta get
registered
through
with
it.
me. You can show me how to do it, and
Yeah.
it clicks.
I'm more of a hands-on person.
You know, like if I can't, you can show me a book and say, here, read this. It's a book how to build a house, and there you go. I won't make it past the second page, with, you know, and it's one of them where you're like, you know, you just need to be hands-on. Going back, face to face.
I don't know.
Cool.
It's the best. I don't know how to explain it. The best trip you went for your job. Like,
Probably the Bahamas.
you went to the Bahamas.
Yeah. So the cool thing about that one it was for a wedding. The wedding was set to be on one day, and they booked it for a cruise. So this cruise was a 5 or 6 day cruise. So that's like a vacation, dude. All I had to work was one day, like, and I'm not editing no photos, like, I got stuff to take photos of, like around, like I'm cruising the seas, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So that one was pretty, like, epic. And okay, so here's another one. So, who's Cubs fans in here? Any Cubs fans? Yeah, really? Who? There we go. I was waiting for that. Yeah, Cubs fans. All right. So when they won the World Series, I actually covered that and went up there. It was people as far as the eye could see, and that's no exaggeration. It was like rated one of the world's most biggest gatherings in history, and it was unbelievable. Like, you know, seeing the buses come in, seeing the entire city, and the city of Chicago, it's got a lot of people, you know, and when you walk through the city of Chicago, not all of them are friendly. You know, I tell you what, like, there were smiles everywhere and laughter, and you know what I mean, like a good time. So I cover some events, you know, man. I got some horror stories too. Like you cover some events, and it's like, oh my god, what did I get myself into? You know, man, I should have done a background check on these people. Like, but you know yeah, I'd have to say that them were probably my favorites. Any others?
What's the weirdest job you've ever been on?
Now I gotta remember that I'm in school right now. Okay. So let me ponder on that. The weirdest. Okay. I'll tell you one that went viral. It was. So I get a lot of requests. There's a lot of things you can take photos of, and a lot of things you can record. Well, so I did this couple's wedding, and the bride said, you know, I really want some photos of my husband, and right away, okay, cool. She said, well, I want it boudoir photos, and that means they're like half-naked sexy photos of her husband.
Oh.
Bro.
You're just taking
Like-
pictures of the guy.
Yeah! Yeah! Like what? So, but it was pretty epic because it was, once I got done with the photos, I was shocked on the, like, response. Dude, I put them online and instantly, like, was shared over 100 few times, like, just within the first few minutes. Like, it was, yeah. That was pretty awesome.
Do I know who this guy is?
Yeah. Yeah, you do.
I think
Previous
it's,
student.
yeah, I think I know which picture you're talking about.
Yeah.
But
Previous
he
student.
was kind of being silly too. Is that-
Oh yeah. Like we had fun with it, you know, because that's the thing.
I
Like
think it's more. Anyway.
that's the most awkward situation that you can be. You know, man, as a grown man, you're like, this is not what I thought I'd be doing when I, you know, got out of high school. You know, no, this is not what I was thinking. But like, so kind of going back to that, like what I was talking about, like face-to-face communication, you have to get in every single situation and connect with that person.